Johnny Murr here, and welcome to a brand new video. Today, man, we need to talk about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Look, if you've been a long time viewer of the channel, or you just know me personally, or just through all my content, you know Metroid is my second favorite franchise of all time. It is my favorite Nintendo franchise. Metroid Dread is my favorite Nintendo Switch game. Samus is one of my favorite characters ever. Like, Metroid is just... I just love the series so much. And yesterday, or at least at the time of recording this, yesterday just was the definition of why I love Metroid, because the trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond that we got at the March 27th Nintendo Direct, a week before the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, which is still wild, they showed a brand new in-depth trailer of what Metroid Prime 4 is going to have in store in terms of gameplay and in terms of, like, just how the game is looking. And, well, we're going to get into it, but holy smokes, this trailer was awesome. I just absolutely loved everything I saw, and we're going to get into that. But thank you all so much for clicking on the video. If you guys love gaming, consider subscribing and sharing with your friends. We cover video games daily on this channel. It doesn't matter what you love. Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, third-party, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be. Consider subscribing and sharing with your friends. I appreciate all the support you guys give me, especially the support on this video right here. But without further ado, man, we got to talk about Metroid Prime 4. Now, I'm just gonna cut to the chase, because look, I get it. The game, amazing. Gameplay, amazing. Visuals, great. All those things are great. We're gonna talk about that. But the thing I need to the thing I need to get off my chest, the thing I need to say, shout through the rooftops, is the cover art for this game is a top tier, elite level cover art. I don't know whose job it was to make this cover art, but they worked overtime and they need a raise. Matter of fact, make them the head of Nintendo, because this right here, this is cover art of the year material right here. I know y'all are probably like, no way this dude actually does cover art of the year. Bro, I've said it multiple times. Games and these franchises and these products can become way more than just a video game. It becomes a brand. Metroid Prime 4, as a vibe, as a feel, as its energy, as a brand, as its promotion, as its marketing, plays into the effect and the impact that the game is going to have. And this cover art, we're already seeing it. People all over the place are saying this cover art looks fire, and for good reason. It does. And so this is a big piece of just why I love Metroid. I mean, generally the cover is a perfect example of why I love Metroid. It just is so dang awesome. Like, how can you not look at that and be like, bro, that goes hard, right? And there's a lot of different things going into it. The suit, the coloring, just the art of it, everything amazing. But yeah, just had to get that out of the way. I had to glaze that. But Krispy Kreme donuts, we're here. Let's go. But no, the game itself, man, they showed about a good, I would say about like 3 minutes of gameplay. We got, walking around, scanning things, doing all the lore stuff, doing all the exploration stuff. We got all your turning into the ball, going through places. We had, of course, shooting. And I think shooting and the traversal and scanning things, for the most part, nothing revolutionary, nothing super innovative, nothing that made me go, wow, looks amazing. It just looked like Metroid Prime, which I feel like with the game it is, I feel like it's going to be really hard to, like, make it feel like, yo, this is like a whole brand new thing, because Metroid Prime first-person shooting is very specific to Metroid Prime, with the whole lock-on target, with the whole switching between bullet things. You have the same gun, you have the same motion, you have the same animations. It's just you're shooting different things, locking onto targets. And so I feel like they did a good job of making it feel at least more fluent. I think that's the big thing I took away from it. It just feels more fluent. We'll have to see when we actually get our hands on it. Obviously, we're watching a video. We're not actually playing it. So, but to me, it does look more fluent, and it looks a little bit more polished. It looks just definitely updated. But there was nothing I saw for the most part until later on in the trailer that I was like, okay, combat just looks like Metroid Prime. Nothing shocking here, nothing groundbreaking, but looks good. Like, no concerns there. I do think one thing that's going to play into this game's gameplay in terms of combat really well, it has nothing to actually do with the combat, and that is the environment. I think the environments in this game are really interesting for Metroid. right? Like, if you think of Metroid Prime, you don't really get environments like this, like, all that often. Like, yeah, there is, like, some nature environments, but, like, this feels full-blown, like, adventurous and, like, super just outdoorsy and nature and science, and I really like that. I think that that's gonna be really, really cool. And just some of the shots, and I guess we're just gonna go into the visuals now of the game. Just some of the shots and some of the different views and areas you're going to just seem like it's going to be one of those games where you go into a new room and you're like, whoa, this is cool, or man, this is awesome. And one thing that Metroid does almost better than almost every other first-person shooter, or honestly, not even, if we're talking about the 2D games, Metroid atmosphere is almost unmatched because they play that dang Metroid music on top of all the mystery going on top of the really cool environments, and it just adds this amazing atmosphere that is so special to Metroid. And right off rip, when this trailer started, you felt it. The music was playing, you were looking at all the environments, and then he started walking, and they started scanning things. You're just like, I feel like I'm in Metroid. Like, and they just do such a good job at bringing the world to life and bringing so many things to life. It really just feels like you're on, like, your own little space journey, and I love it. But yeah, no, I really like what I'm seeing from the visuals and the environments, and then, like I said, combat looks really, really solid. Now, we still don't know really anything going on with the story, and I don't think we will really until we play the game. I feel like that is going to be something that's you kind of unfold, because Metroid is kind of like a mystery game, but at the same time, it's kind of like a thriller, just suspense kind of story. So I feel like they're not really gonna do like a story trailer. They're not really gonna say like, yeah, this is what happened. Like this is the internal conflict of Samus. That's not what's gonna happen. You're just gonna play and you're gonna see a story. They did show the main, like, one of the antagonists in the last trailer, and I think he looks really cool. So very curious to see more of that. Enemy wise, looks pretty good. Like it nothing shocking. The biggest thing with gameplay in this trailer, the thing that I think has gotten everybody talking about, other than that cover art, is the big addition to this one, and that is the abilities that Samus will be getting. And not just any abilities. Obviously, every Metroid game you get abilities, but in this one, you're getting psychic abilities. Now, this is in terms of grabbing objects and moving them, or whether you're like drawing lines on an object, or whether you're controlling your projectiles. You're like doing that Batman Arkham Batarang, like controlling this. If you know, you know. And this is, when I saw this in the trailer, this is the moment I was like, yeah, I think this game is gonna be probably as good as I think it's going to be. Now, me and a friend, actually Austin, we actually had a conversation about this, like, a little, like, about 2 weeks ago now, because we do this fantasy critic thing where we try to predict what games are going to score the highest, and we actually started saying that we don't think Metroid Prime 4 will actually score as high as, like, some of the other ones. In some sense, I still think that. I'd be shocked if it does score higher than, like, at least, like, 2, right? Like, it still has a chance of getting a 90s, and I think this trailer is part of that reason why I think that. But the whole thing is, like, Metroid Prime was such a revolutionary game, first-person shooter at the time. It was so different from the rest of Nintendo's portfolio, and it just brought so much new things, and it was like, wow, this is what game design can be, right? What does that look like in a post-Elden Ring world, in a post-Breath of the Wild world, in a post-Mario Odyssey world? What does that look like? And I feel like Metroid Prime is one of those games you can't just completely reinvent it, because it's a Metroidvania. You have to do Metroidvania things, and you have to do Metroid things, right? And so I don't know if it's going to have the same impact as what the older games had, right? I still think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to have great design. But part of the reason why the Metroid Prime games are held to such a high degree is because they innovated, and they were revolutionary and, like, one of a kind back in the day. Whereas now, I don't know if I would say Metroid Prime is one of a kind. It's definitely still special, and it's definitely some of the best out there, but you know, this isn't something where it's going to be like, man, I've never played anything like this before, you know? So the question is, will this game be received as well as the other games? And here's what I'll say. I think from a quality perspective, I think it will be. I think from an impact perspective, I don't think so. Right? I think 2 years down the time, Metroid Prime is going to be looked at as like just Metroid Dread, but in first person, right? It's one of the best Switch games. It is one of the best in the franchise, but there's not going to be a lot of people saying it's one of the best games of all time, like a lot of people do for Metroid Prime. Now, personally, I like Metroid Dread more than Metroid Prime. So, you know, there's a whole lot of things, but I think, nonetheless, I'm kind of going on a rant here, trying to predict and go over my whole brainwaves. I have a lot of thoughts here, but what I'm trying to say is when I saw those psychic abilities, that is the moment where I was starting to doubt myself. I was like, you know what? Maybe this game does have a shot at breaking boundaries and kind of being different than the other ones. Because if what it really reminded me of was that Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where you started getting these abilities where you could do some crazy things and you could let your creativity and your wild and just innovativeness run rampant within the games. Now, this isn't open world, I don't think. I don't know if they've even classified whether it's linear open world, but I don't think it's open world. I don't think you're going to have as much creativeness, but what I'm very curious of is the puzzles in this game. That is going to make the puzzles and the exploration very, very interesting and very, very engaging compared to the other ones. Even more than the other ones. And the other ones did it really well. So I'm really excited for these abilities. I think the being able to control your own like projectiles is awesome. That is so cool. Like that was the moment I was like, whoa, okay, they're cooking here. They are absolutely cooking here. But then all the other abilities as well just were fantastic. There was just so many things during this event, or during this trailer, that I was like, yo, this just looks so good. This just looks so good. This is exactly what I wanted from this game, right? I don't want the next Tears of the Kingdom, but in Metroid. I want Metroid at its best. And I feel like this trailer is kind of it. Like, there's no weak point within this trailer. I think the only argument about it is it looks too similar to the previous games. And after the wait that we've had, you know, I guess it's kind of a fair argument. But at the same time, that's not really what I want. You know, I don't want them to reinvent the whole meaning of what Metroid Prime is. I just want Metroid Prime in modern day, and I want it to be amazing. And I feel like that's exactly what this trailer convinced me that it's going to be. I think this game is going to be amazing. And I'm super happy. As one of the biggest Metroid fans I know, this is everything I wanted. With the cover art, with the trailer, with the gameplay, with the visuals. And one of my favorite parts about Metroid is the suits. And boy, oh boy, did Metroid Prime 4 pull through. We got some fire suits. Number one, the default suit. The one where it looks like your typical Samus suit, but you have that purple energy flowing through it. Fire. I think the purple in this game pops, and it's so good. But then, at the very end, they showed one of, and I'm going to say it, one of the sexiest suits I have ever seen. With that red and black, with that purple energy bro. Oh, they are cooking. They are cooking, and this game is everything that I've wanted it to be so far. I just really hope everything lives up. I hope the boss battles live up. I hope the puzzles live up. I hope the story is somewhat engaging like Dread. I hope there is this sense of you're playing something you're experiencing something for the first time. I don't want it to feel like, hey, you're just playing Metroid Prime in modern day. I don't want it to feel like that. And the good news is this trailer made me feel like I was experiencing something new, but I was still experiencing Metroid Prime. And that's what I want. And so I'm super duper excited for this. Let me tell you, if there is a collector's edition, Bro, crack of dawn. I don't care if it's 12 a.m. I don't care when it is. I will be there the second those go live because I need that. Or if there is a limited edition Nintendo Switch 2. If this game is a launch title, which we're about to talk about that. If this game is a launch title and they have a limited edition Switch that's decorated like it, oh boy, I'm going to lose my mind. But that brings the next topic. When does this game release? One of the big things I thought, if they were going to show Metroid Prime 4 at this Direct, I thought for sure we were going to get a date. It did not get a date. It still said 2025. And so that only means one thing. Either it is late 2025, like we're talking holiday, and so they don't want to pinpoint a date yet. It's either fall 2025, and they're not pinpointing a date because of the elephant in the room being GTA 6. Don't worry, guys. It's going to get delayed. I'm telling you right now, GTA 6 is getting delayed, so I'm not even too worried about that. So I don't think it's even that option. Anyway, I digress. Or 3, which is what I think. That is, we're going to see it again next week with a date, with it being a Nintendo Switch 2 launch title. I'm locking it in. I'm calling the shot. And if that is the case, there is no better way for Johnny Murr to start the next generation of Nintendo with my second favorite franchise of all time, with my favorite Nintendo franchise of all time, with one of my most anticipated games of all time, with one of the greatest cover arts of all time, with one of the most sexiest suits of all time. Bro, there's so much to be excited for with this game. I'm so excited. I've watched this trailer like 100 times. Bro, there's just nothing like Metroid, bro. I just love... See, I can sit here and glaze all I want, but I'm not going to keep any more of your time. I just love Metroid so much, and I'm loving what I'm seeing of this game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below provided. Is it living up to the hype? Are you excited for it? What do you think of the new suits? What do you think of that cover art? I feel like I don't even need to ask that. I feel like everybody thinks this cover art is gas for good reason. You guys let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Johnny Morales. Peace.